All right, so get this. We're diving into risk management today,
Uh-huh.
but not the boring old kind. We're talking about predicting and managing risks before they even happen. Imagine a system that could practically see the future of your business.
Sounds pretty sci-fi, right?
Right. That's the power of generative AI.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to break down today.
Exactly. And we've got this awesome blog post by Debrada Pruseth to guide us. It's called Transforming Risk Management in Organizations with Generative AI. He's got some killer examples in there.
Oh, yeah. He lays out some really compelling use cases.
For sure.
One of the things that jumps out is risk tracking. I mean, think about it. Most companies have risk data all over the place, right?
Ugh, yeah. Different departments, spreadsheets, systems. It's a mess.
Total mess. It's a nightmare to try and get a clear picture of your overall risk.
Yeah, you're always behind the curve, right?
Yeah, you're putting out fires instead of preventing them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But Pruseth is saying that with generative AI, you can use these simple prompts and pull all that info together.
Just like that.
Imagine instantly seeing a list of all your overdue issues, potential bottlenecks, or even those duplicated efforts happening all over the company.
It's crazy powerful, and it saves so much time.
Right. No more digging through files for hours.
Oh, and get this. He talks about generative AI making PowerPoint presentations.
Wait.
With heat maps for each department, so you can actually see their risk exposure visually.
That's insane. How useful would that be for making decisions?
Super useful. Game-changing even.
Totally. But it's not just about keeping track of what we already know, right? Generative AI can help us figure out brand new risks that might be lurking out there.
Oh, absolutely. We're talking about analyzing huge amounts of data,
Financial reports, market trends.
social media, customer interactions, everything. The AI can find those patterns and predict potential problems before they even pop up.
It's like having a super-powered risk analyst working for you 24/7.
Exactly.
There's this great example Pruseth gives about a multinational bank. They use generative AI to analyze customer data during a market downturn.
Smart.
And the AI actually predicted potential credit defaults super accurately.
Wow.
Gave them time to adjust their lending and avoid huge losses.
That's incredible.
And it's not just finance, right? This can be used for anything.
Yep.
Manufacturing, logistics.
Healthcare, marketing, you name it.
Yeah.
It can make things more consistent, speed up response times, and basically lead to better decisions all around.
Okay, so we've figured out what the risks are, but how do we actually deal with them? That's where it gets really interesting.
All right. So Pruseth dives into how generative AI can help companies create better policies. It can analyze those regulatory documents, find any gaps or inconsistencies.
And even suggest improvements to how things work.
Totally. Streamlining those workflows.
There was this one example that really stuck with me. He talked about how Gen AI could review a bank's payment process,
Yeah.
and then propose changes to reduce those manual errors.
Oh, that's huge. Saves time, money, and reduces risk all at once.
Exactly.
And it's not just about efficiency. It's about staying ahead of the game when it comes to compliance, too.
Oh, tell me more about that.
So Pruseth argues that by constantly checking global regulations, generative AI can make sure your policies are always current, and even suggest proactive changes to prevent problems down the line.
Wow, so it's like having a built-in compliance expert.
Yeah.
Always watching out for you.
Pretty much. And remember, compliance isn't just about checking boxes.
Right.
It's about protecting your business, your customers, and your reputation.
True.
Generative AI can help navigate that whole complex world with way more confidence and accuracy.
I love it. But risk management isn't a one-and-done thing, is it?
Nope, you got to be on it all the time.
Yeah, you need to constantly watch for new threats and adjust your strategies.
And generative AI is perfect for that.
Tell me how.
It can analyze data in real time, sending alerts if something seems off.
Like a security system for your business.
Yeah. Exactly. It can even automate those risk reports for stakeholders.
So everyone's in the loop.
Always. Can you imagine? A system that can spot fraudulent transactions or suspicious activity right as it's happening.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
It is. We're shifting from reacting to risk to actually anticipating it.
That's a huge change.
Yeah.
But we can't forget about the people involved, right?
The human element is still crucial.
Yeah. Even with the most amazing AI, you still need trained employees and clear policies.
Oh, for sure. Pruseth really emphasizes that throughout the blog post.
Yeah.
This isn't about replacing jobs. It's about helping people make smarter decisions.
I like that.
And that's where generative AI can actually help bridge the gap between technology and the workforce.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
So we were talking about how this tech can not only spot those risks, but also help train and educate employees to deal with them better.
Yeah, it's amazing to think about. It can identify those risks, but also train people to handle them better.
It's pretty wild. And Pruseth, he really highlights the need for clear policies and well-trained employees. It's key for good risk management. And he thinks generative AI can make both those things way better.
Yeah, we were just saying how it can create custom training stuff and translate that super complicated info into something anyone can get. It's like personalized learning for every employee, right? Tailored to their job.
Exactly. And just think about it. Onboarding new people becomes smoother. Keeping everyone updated on policy changes is less of a headache.
And everyone has the info they need when they need it.
In a way that actually makes sense to them.
Yeah, totally. Pruseth even mentions that generative AI can be used to summarize those long stakeholder meetings too, so everyone knows what the main points were.
Oh, that's a lifesaver. No more slogging through pages of meeting minutes.
Right. It's all about streamlining communication, making things more transparent, and in the end, making sure everyone's on the same page when it comes to managing risk. So it seems like generative AI has all these solutions for risk management, from finding and analyzing risks to actually dealing with them and giving employees the tools to handle them.
It's a pretty impressive toolbox.
It is. But Pruseth outlines some key benefits that businesses can get by adding generative AI to their risk strategies.
Okay.
And it's not just about doing things faster, although that's a big plus.
Of course, that's always nice.
But it's also about making smarter decisions with all that data and making sure you're following all those regulations, which are always changing.
Always changing. It's a headache. But Gen AI helps with that.
Right. And it creates a more proactive approach to risk in general. You're not just reacting, you're ahead of it.
That's the goal. But with any powerful technology, we got to think about the ethical side of things too.
Absolutely.
We have to use it responsibly.
Yeah, it's not about handing over all the decisions to the AI.
Right. Human judgment is still super important. We can't just blindly trust the AI to make all the calls.
Exactly. It's a tool to help us, not replace us.
That's the key. Generative AI should be like a partner. We work together to get the best results. Humans and machines combining their strengths.
I love that. So where do we go from here? How can businesses actually take these ideas and make them happen? What are the practical steps to make this work?
That's the big question, right? And that's what Pruseth tackles in his blog. He gives a roadmap for businesses that want to use generative AI. And that's exactly what we're going to dig into.
All right, so let's get down to brass tacks here.
Yeah.
We've been talking about all this amazing potential, but how do companies actually make this happen? Where do you even start with Gen AI and risk management?
Well, Pruseth gives some really solid advice in the blog. He says the first thing is to figure out the right ways to use it. It's not about just jumping on the AI bandwagon because it's trendy.
Right. It's got to actually solve a problem.
Exactly. It's about looking at your specific risk management headaches and figuring out how Gen AI can fix them.
So it's not like a one-size-fits-all thing.
Nope. You got to really look at your current processes. How's your data set up? What's your overall risk profile? Then you can see where Gen AI fits in and makes the biggest difference.
So are you drowning in data from everywhere? Having trouble keeping up with all the regulations? Are your employees struggling with those complicated policies?
All good questions. Once you know what you need, you can start checking out the Gen AI tools and applications out there. There's something for everyone.
And you don't have to do it all at once.
Whoa, way. Pruseth actually recommends starting small.
Okay, that makes sense.
Like maybe a pilot program in one department or just focusing on one type of risk, test it out, play around with different tools, see what clicks for your organization.
Makes sense. So once you found the right tool, what's next?
One of the big things Pruseth talks about is data quality. Garbage in, garbage out.
Oh, yeah, that's a classic.
If you're feeding your Gen AI bad data, you're going to get bad results.
Yeah.
Simple as that.
So before you even start with the AI, got to look at your data. Is it clean? Is it accurate? Is it actually useful for what you're trying to do?
Absolutely. Getting your data ready is usually the part that takes the longest in any AI project.
I can see why.
But it's super important. You got to make sure it's all organized, labeled right, and there aren't any mistakes or inconsistencies. No messy data allowed.
Makes sense. But even with perfect data, we can't forget about the people, right?
Absolutely not. Pruseth is big on training and upskilling employees so they can work alongside Gen AI like a team.
Yeah, it's about creating a culture where people and machines work together, combining those strengths.
Exactly.
So we shouldn't be scared of AI taking our jobs.
Nope.
We should see it as a tool that helps us do our jobs better.
That's the way to look at it.
And invest in those training programs that teach people how to use these tools right, how to understand the results, and how to make good decisions based on what the AI tells them.
It's all about being smart with data, thinking critically, and making ethical choices. Those are the skills that are going to be super important as AI becomes more common in the workplace.
You know, Pruseth's blog post really gets you thinking about the big picture. Gen AI isn't just another piece of tech. It's changing how we think about risk management altogether.
It really is. It's moving from being reactive to being proactive. It's about seeing those risks before they happen, using data to guide our choices, and constantly learning and adapting as the world changes.
That's a whole new way of thinking.
It is. And it's exciting.
Absolutely. Well, this has been a fascinating deep dive.
It really has.
And I think we've just scratched the surface of what Gen AI can do in risk management.
There's so much more to explore.
Definitely. Big thanks to Deborah Brada-Prusa for his insights. We highly recommend checking out his blog for yourself if you want to learn more about Gen AI and prompt engineering.
It's a great resource.
Absolutely. And until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay ahead of the curve.